We live. All right, what's up, everybody? This is a special edition because we got good friend Kris Gethin here.
It's a special edition.
This is
because
special.
I'm here, or is it that they always special edition?
No, because you're here.
Oh wow! Okay, I like that. I'm special.
So my name is Rashid.
Party Torbati.
Party Torbati.
You don't know that yet. He doesn't know that. He just knows professional.
Turn your mic
Torbati.
around. You gotta face the audio Technica.
There we go.
There he is.
Yeah, here he is.
He's here.
He just knows professional Torbati.
Yeah, it's Party Torbati.
That's my nickname.
I like it.
You don't have a party shirt on though.
No, but it's okay. I still am.
Inside.
Inside.
You got the party shirt going on.
I got the
He has a
ayahuasca
psychedelic.
Yeah, I was
shirt
gonna
on.
say it was
The
an
shroom shirt.
old school ayahuasca.
Nah,
band.
if I was to go do ayahuasca, I would get dressed up. I would.
You look like you already are.
I would no. I would get like shirt and tie. You know,
Right, you'd be
the shaman be like, "What the fuck is going on with this guy? This is not how we do it.
I'm all
This
business.
is not how we do things here." So what's up, Kris? How you doing, bro?
Everything's been a-okay, man. I love it.
Come a little closer to the mic, or just twist it closer to you. There you go.
There we go.
Cool.
Now I sound sexy and husky.
There it is.
Yeah, everything's been good. I got into LA yesterday, hit a couple of workouts in Gold's Venice, and now I'm over the better side of town.
I tell people that all the time.
I like it over here.
It's a
Because
secret.
I like the community, like here in Huntston, because it feels like a community where, you know, there's acquaintances over in Venice. People come and go. Doesn't seem like anyone actually grew up there.
Right.
Where everybody seems like, you know, the people that I speak to, like in the Huntington area and over this area, it's like a lot of them grew up here and they're part of that community. And I like that feeling, you know, that surf culture.
Right. Do you surf?
I did until I tore my shoulder, my infraspinatus, when I was living in Sydney, Australia. So after that, I heard the crack. I couldn't drive a car, couldn't train clients. So I was like,
is that? I
forget
think
that
you
then.
told me that's why you stopped bench pressing or something like that.
that was part of the reason. And then the one reason that really put that down was downhill mountain bike racing. And when I ragdolled it, separated both my AC joints.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Look, people will make comments to me just about training shit, right? Like, well, you know you're gonna hurt this. I'm like, look, stop it. I don't care. Like, I'd rather live like a fucking boss. There's gonna be some bumps and bruises on the way, but I'm having a fucking ball.
Yeah, and I don't mind the injuries because I found that I've been able to turn those weaknesses into strengths because you focus on them much more often. It's a challenge. I like that challenge. And like these injuries don't necessarily happen in a gym. They generally don't for me.
Yeah.
It's always outside of the gym.
Right.
You know, so I've done that and from snowboarding.
But I'm just
rugby.
saying, like, just the type, like, my training is a little different than the norm. I mean, these activities that you're doing, they bring you adrenaline and happiness and joy. So
stop,
if you do the things that you love to do. If you hurt yourself here and there, who gives a fuck? Like, why do y'all? Here's the thing: you don't really. The people commenting, y'all don't care. So why even comment?
Yeah, who knows? It's like every time like I'd have a tattoo done, like on my back, and then that afternoon I'm in the gym. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Why,
well, guess what? Are my tattoos screwed up
But
now?
here's the thing: what's it to you, buddy?
Exactly.
I want to round these people up and interview them.
That'd be a great idea.
Right? Like, all right, so
call them in.
Why do you care? What's it to you?
What makes you an expert?
You know, I think so. I've been having this concept for a long time. Y'all comment below if y'all think this is a good show, but I want to call it Why, right? And just sit across, interview style, like interrogation style, old school light hanging from from up above, and just whatever the person on at the time, whatever we pull them in for, I don't know, maybe some troll comments or just something goofy that they've done. And because to me it's fascinating. It's fucking fascinating. So I want to know why and break down every moment of their life that got them to that weird decision they made.
It probably wasn't that much of their life because maybe they're probably still like 12, 13 years old. You'd have to bring them in
You'd
with
be
their
surprised.
parents.
These are some grown men.
There's
Because
some
look,
mature trolls.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of people say, ignore the comments, I don't.
I'm exactly the same. Whenever people say that, ignore it. I'm like, hell no. I love that. I get off on it. I'm going to shut these people down. Yes. I love that. It's part of the motivation. Of course, you love the people that are loyal to you.
Right.
But man, you aren't going to ignore them. You thrive off them, you know? Because if people say you're going to suck at it, sign me up. I'll go. Let's do it.
Right. And when you go in, Well, when I went and looked into who these people are, I'm like, wow, this guy, you.
But then they say the weirdest shit. It's like, man, you should change your hairstyle. You should get rid of the ring in your nose. Your tattoos look terrible. And then you look at these people, and I'm like, well, at least I can change my shit.
Right.
You can't do nothing about the way you look at the moment.
Yeah. I had a guy, what did he say? Oh, this was a fun one. Oh, he said something about my calves, right? I have no problem with nothing on my body. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not on stage trying to be the perfectly symmetrical dude. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, right? So he tried to hide it with a compliment and then do something a little sly in there. So I'm like, okay. So I go to his page, which was public at the time. I started screenshotting pictures because I knew he's gonna go private as soon as I unleashed the hounds on him, right? So I said, bro, you said this, but let's talk about your stuff. And he had a picture where he was butt naked, right? But he was trying to like be on some bodybuilding shit, like looking at my glutes, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I just said naked booty, back picture, some shit. Like I kept saying something real goofy over and over. And everybody else kept saying it and atting them at it and going to his shit and laughing, right? His shit was hilarious. And you know his comeback, you know what he said? You're supposed to be professional. How can you talk to me like this? I'm like, no. I'm not professional. For the record, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, I am not professional. Yeah, listen, we may get like a lot of followers and attention, but this is being on YouTube or being on Instagram is not a profession. I'm just like you, but I don't fuck with people. You know what I'm saying? So I will go as petty as you want to go. I personally will. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do try to, I'll give it to them. I could give it to them way harder than they can give it to me. So once they're feeling very distraught and down, then I'll send them a DM like, hey, bro, I just merely wanted to mirror what you were doing to me. I want you to know what you do affects me and others like me because it ain't just you. It's 30 of y'all a day. It don't feel good, right? Okay, it hurts us too. We do read comments, so it's not becoming of a young man. So maybe you shouldn't do that. And typically, when I do respond like that, they take it well.
Yeah, because a lot of people are walking reaction, and maybe they're having a bad day, and they just want to take it out of you. And it is maybe they just argued with their wife that morning. Who knows? Some people, like you get the old person that lives on a neighborhood block, and he's always moaning and crying and about something.
Right.
And there's that pain body. You've heard of you've read Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, where he talks about some people have pain bodies where, okay, this female is probably a really good person. This guy is a great person. Together, they're not. They need separate relationships. And you get some people out there that just have pain bodies towards yourself or myself or others, and they just seek them, and then they get attracted to them, and they just offload.
Why is that though? What's the premise behind why they're attracted to certain?
It's all vibration, So, for instance, this is vibration. The table's vibration, and these people have vibrational mismatch.
See, that don't make sense to me. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't get it. Do you get that? The whole vibration thing?
Maybe if it was explained a different way and it wasn't like vibration, but rather just all the things that make you who you are, if that's what you call vibration instead.
Right.
Maybe then it would make more sense.
Yeah, because I've been it seemed like as of late, people have been asking me about energy and vibrations and all of that stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what you mean.
I'd tell you what, read Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. He'd be able to explain it to you a lot better than I can.
Okay.
But I kind of feel that, like if you go into a room, you don't know why, or you go to a place and it doesn't feel right, or the person that you're talking to, as nice as they are, it just doesn't feel like there's just not a match. And I just feel, I don't even just have to have it explained to me. It just feels like a vibrational mismatch to me,
I think you identify with that. Like we talk about some just don't feel right with this and all the time, and we can't even necessarily quantify it. We probably could if we really got into it, but vibes is short for vibrations.
Yeah,
right.
You could talk, vibes. You could talk about hertz. You could talk about, like, for instance, we're into the biohacking, like the pulse electronic magnetic field therapy. It all works on the hertz, whether it be recovery, whether it be for activity, stimulation, sleep. They're all different hertz and vibration.
So, okay, getting into that. So we are, I want to say, babies in biohacking, but not really, because this is how we kind of operate. We identify something that we think may be effective, and then we dive into it, right? Studies on ourselves, anecdotal research, whatever, everything. We're all in. We really spend a lot of time on that before moving to something else, right? So the herbs, all that, I haven't gotten into that. Here's my thing though. I can't ever co-sign something that I don't really feel like it works or is beneficial, at least to me. So like when I can stand firmly behind meditation, as old as that is, it's because first of all, I haven't mastered it, but I'm there. I'm not there in terms of mastering myself to that level, but I directly feel the positive benefits from meditation, and when I'm not, I feel that as well. So I can talk about that. I can go deep on that, but I spend a lot of time there. You see what I'm saying? I don't really move on to what's next, or like I hear a lot of stuff from you. I see that you're into a lot of stuff that I'm just not ready to go there yet because I'm still dealing with this, mastering this, and I like it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So just like ayahuasca, right? This is something, or DMT. These are things that I was very much so interested in until listening to, his name is Michael. His channel is at the tip of my tongue. Did I ever send you the video with the dude, the YouTuber he has a YouTube Red show now.
You mentioned it to me, but I didn't see the video.
Minefield. Yeah. So he went and he went to Peru with a shaman. He had his people do measure his brain waves and everything before, during, and after. And he explained. I wanted to watch him do it because I feel like he and I think very similarly. So I wanted to see his experience. And what he explained, I feel like I experienced through meditation. When my diet is on point, and my everything is in aligned, and my meditation is on point, what he's explaining, I feel like I got it. You know what I mean? He talked about, his desire to just be a better person. He experienced that while he was on ayahuasca, and whatever positive things that the ayahuasca was inducing in his brain, it kept doing it after, because they kept measuring his whatever the fucks
the wavelengths
after the fact, and they stayed high, right? And I feel like that's the reality with me with meditation. And I feel like I've done it so much and I do it so much that it just, my waves are staying on that level. And also, even like Sean and I, we've become closer and closer over this past year because we're on a very similar path, and we bounce off of each other. Kind of like when you and I are together, we bounce off each other, dope shit. So it's like, it keeps me in that happy, progressive, you have something to look forward to the next day just for a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's powerful, So I feel like I've achieved it without ayahuasca because so far he's the only guy. I've heard a couple other people kind of talk about it, but I wanted to hear his breakdown of it because his was not for like being high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that should definitely not be the reason why you do ayahuasca. It's not a recreational drug. You go there to seek something that you want to unfold. And Gerard Powell, who owns Rhythmia, he's got a book out that's called Shit That the Moon Said. And this guy was like a multi-millionaire before he gave it all up after that plant medicine experience. He had like 30 cars, a couple of planes, but he was not living a good life. And then when he had that plant experience,
what was not good about the life he was living?
He was cheating on his wife. He was doing drugs. He was cheating business partners. And when he did this plant medicine experience, even though it was in a bad place in Costa Rica, everything changed for him. He was on the TV show of millionaire houses. And when they interviewed him about downsizing, he said, I'm going to move into an 8x10 place in Costa Rica, and started, what was called Rhythmia. But what I'm getting to is that he is very open and transparent. It's like, you don't necessarily need plant medicine. You don't need ayahuasca. You can get the same effect from breath work, like Wim Hof breathing or meditation. It's just, this worked for me, and this isn't my autobiography. I'm just going to tell you my experience and how it could possibly work for you. You know, and I know a lot of people that have done it. Obviously, maybe Dorian can speak to you about that. You know, I'm not trying to sell you because I've never done this myself.
Right.
But I know a lot of other people. Luke Story did it recently, Aubrey Marcus, and Josh Trent. And, you know, they've all had positive experiences. I don't know many people that have said, you know what, that was terrible. It was horrendous. You know, they've gone in there and they've explored something. Because we all think, yeah, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm good. I'm fine. There's nothing there. We can all be better.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
whether it's a form of anxiety, whether it's the way that we react to people online, you know, there's always something that we can improve upon. That's why we meditate. However, your way of training for your physique works for you. It isn't necessarily going to work for me. So some people will go for the meditation route. Other people are going to go for the plant medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's real. And I think with people online who are attacking other people, you know, we come across things every day, I'm sure you do as well, that we don't agree with or necessarily like or don't even really think should be out there that people are posting or promoting. But we usually don't attack that person. Like, I mean, really never. We just choose to not consume that content anymore. It will be as simple as unfollowing the person. So you should all exercise your right to consume the content that you want, that makes you happy and feel good, and not consume the content that you don't enjoy. So even if you don't like it, you don't have to be negative towards it. You can simply exercise the ultimate power to stop consuming it. Just like you wouldn't eat a food that you thought was nasty or do an exercise that hurts you. Don't consume content from people. It's not like your duty to go forward and try and tear them down. You're not accomplishing anything. You're just spreading negativity. So exercise your right to stop consuming.
Yeah, it's not as if you're going to get to the end of your life and go, you know what, I really wish I hated on more people.
It will never happen. Yeah.
That's so basic but so profound. Unfortunately, that's profound because these people will have a profound impact on their lives if they stopped. You know, I've been saying this for years. Like, people got to be conscious of what they put into their minds, what they're, you know, consuming content wise. It's the new. I don't watch the news because it's all negative. It's all bad, and it's just entertainment, but not the type of entertainment that I want to consume. You know, so I choose to watch, me personally, things that make me laugh, silly shit, things that I can learn from, or things that fascinate me. You know, because a lot of shit, like when I'm listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson or Michael Eric Dyson or whomever, I'm blown away by these guys' level of intellect, just like I'm blown away by LeBron James on the basketball court. But even more with these guys, it's like, fuck. You know what I mean? People who, I remember the first book I read by Michael Eric Dyson, in the foreword, he was saying that I spent my life, basically saying, I'm paraphrasing, but something to the effect of, I spent my life trying to know and understand, not just know, but understand as much as I can. Just like Michael Jordan spends hours, you know, on the court, blah, 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 blah. But the beauty of a Dyson or any intellectual or scientist or what have you is that can go until you die. With the physical stuff, we can go until our bodies start breaking down, and then we just give our advice to everybody. We can't get better at that. You know what I'm saying? It just gets worse. But with the mental stuff, even listening to people like Bill Gates, listening to him speak, his mind is ripe and fresh. You know what I mean? Certain people in their 80s, they sound like they're in their 80s. Like, they can't remember. They can't, you know, put thoughts together. He sounds vibrant and, you know, all these cool, quirky ideas and why he goes to McDonald's on this day, I'll order this. And my wife will give me this much money and this kind of change, and you know what I'm saying? He's so on point, you know. And he says, man, I probably waste a lot of time with how much time I spend reading, but that's like somebody spending a lot of time practicing what they love, what they're good at. I have a deep appreciation for geniuses and their respective fields. Even like Lil Wayne. People talk shit about Lil Wayne, he's on drugs, whatever. I don't give a fuck. That dude doesn't write lyrics, right? His lyrics, if you listen to him, as silly as he may go, it all makes perfect sense, but it's very intelligent. Not only is he saying what he's saying is intelligent because it's all like a punchline is like a joke. It makes sense. It's funny. I get it. It's relatable, but it rhymes and it's in a rhythm, and that is fucking profound. And that's kind of shit that I don't think people are really gonna recognize. It'll take another 30, 40 years before they start breaking that kind of shit down in classes in schools, because that shit is fucking amazing. Because a rap lyric is a lot of words. Singing is melody. You holding these words out. The verses are not as long. It may be as long as far as beats and measures and counts.
Less words.
Way less words. But with rap, he's saying so much shit. Jay-Z's another one who doesn't write his lyrics. He just he memorizes it. He does it over and over in his head and then puts it out. Lil Wayne shit is fucking, he's just in a zone and it's fucking amazing. I'm blown away by people who are really talented at what they do. I just love it.
Yeah,
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. Like sometimes I've interviewed people, or I've had discussions with people, and the way they can just roll off different things, like study papers or books, and who that author is of the book. I'm like, how do you retain so much information? And of course, we can't compare ourselves to geniuses. It's like comparing ourselves to, a Dexter Jackson. Like, we're going to be like that? No. But we can work towards that and being better. And one of the things that really helped me, because I sucked at school. I hated school. Whenever people told me these are going to be the best years of your life, I thought, man, what's going to come after this then? This is bad. But one of the things that I realized, and I will never be a genius, collectively I can do a lot of things that impress me, but I can't do that one thing. But what I found, and this may sound weird because, when we do bodybuilding, nutrition training, is when I started really looking after my gut health, my microbiome, and not looking at calories as a calorie content, but information that calorie is going to give me. Not only did it help me physically, getting rid of the inflammation, recovery was better, I started to think quicker. Because we all thought it was normal to go into a room and go, what did I come in here for? Where are the keys? And when you start umming and ahhing after, in your words, you think that's normal. And it isn't until you started thinking clearer, because you're eating better, you're having a healthier lifestyle, you're drinking cleaner, less impurities in the house, that you start to go, wow, this is what it's like now to retain content. So when I went to college after school and I started enjoying as well the stuff that I was now studying, I was able to retain it. So I think you have to really enjoy that passion that you want to be a genius in. And obviously maybe Bill Gates is going great on McDonald's. I know Warren Buffett did the same thing.
I'm sorry, I said Bill Gates, but I meant Warren Buffett.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
everybody.
Okay.
I knew that I was fucking up as soon as I said Bill Gates too.
Well, I called you out, man.
Thank you.
See, I was able to retain that because I didn't eat McDonald's.
Micro gut biome.
Yeah. Gut microbiome. So the opportunist flora I just found helped, because no longer was I getting this inflammatory response that was leading to a chemical response in my brain that was leading to anxiety, depression, and just feeling stupid, getting that cloudy brain and getting pissed off at myself because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. I was thinking it, I just couldn't do it. But when those connections came together and I started backtracking everything, I thought, wow, it is definitely coming from the gut microbiome, because that was, when it was bad, I wasn't sleeping either. And that is the recuperation of your brain when you sleep. I wasn't getting deep sleep. I was getting hardly any REM. I'm not sleeping as good as I could do, but I'm sleeping double the amount that I was. And I'm such a much better person for it. And there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that we can go for, such as your sleep, but that good food, whether it be organic, humane raised, well caught, whatever it may be, and looking at the rainbow as opposed to all the crap that's out there that we're exposed and being marketed to think better. And ever since I've been doing that, not only am I thinking better, but I'm feeling so much better. You think the inflammation is coming from bodybuilding. Well, no, it isn't. It's because you're just not looking after the stuff that you're putting in your body to remove yourself of that inflammation. And yeah, of course, it's great to look at all these biohacks because there's so many out there, there's so many shiny toys now. But unless you got that low-hanging fruit, like you said, you're not interested in going there yet, well, you've got your low-hanging fruit down, man. A lot of people go for that shiny object of that infrared lamp or whatever it is without even thinking about getting in the sunlight first.
Right, bro. Listen, I watched Rogan had a series of podcasts at one point where he was just having all these biohackers or whatever on, and I was just like, bro. One guy was telling his schedule of all of the shit that he takes. And I'm just like, how do you live your life? Like in the morning, I do this and I get this and IV of this, and then I gotta do the cold plunge, and then I gotta do. It was like a whole day. I'm like,
Was that Ben Greenfield?
I think it was.
Yeah, I've had Ben Greenfield on my show as well.
It was just like, bro, that's way. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. He's probably the freakiest of all of them that does every biohack you can imagine.
Here's the thing. This is what I always lean on and I always default to, and I have comfort in this. I don't need shit. I don't need anything. You know what I'm saying? The biohacking that works best for me is my sleep being on point, my activity level being on point, my diet being on point, and meditation. That's all I need. Everything else don't really work on me unless that's intact.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? When I got into this industry, like all my life, I never touched a supplement. I never gave a fuck. I didn't need anything. Even, I used to be, it took to where I was starting to get older and I was working a lot of hours and I'm like feeling worn down. Like, fuck, I need something for energy. That's when I started paying attention to everything else. But I had a long run with no diet, no specific diets, no nothing, and just being all right. You know what I'm saying? So,
I do have respect for the guys like Ben who are, even if they're incorporating too much for the average person in their life, they're kind of serving that role of bringing information about all the new things that are available. And then someone might say, oh, that sounds like it could be a good fit in my life, so we don't have to take and use all of them, but we can be strategic about what we implement. But you're totally right, Kris, that if someone doesn't have those essential things of nutrition, rest, recovery, sleep, training dialed in, all these biohacks, they're not going to achieve what they even could. Just like in our, all three of us here, we are involved in supplement manufacturing and production and marketing. Supplements are not going to serve the role they could if you don't have those same variables dialed in. So whether it's a device or an IV or a powder of a different sort or a capsule, any of our products, they're not going to replace those low-hanging fruits, those lifestyle habits that you need to have in place that you're going to build good health on.
That's 100%. That's pretty much what I was saying, But yeah, no knock to Ben, but I just don't have the time for that. And like you said, I think he does serve as a utility in means of presenting all of this menu of tactics that people can, pick and choose from. But it's a lot. It's overwhelming. It made it not fun. Listening to him, I was like, that doesn't sound fun.
You'd be surprised, though, how many people out there get off on it, and it does sound fun, because I know a lot of these people that do follow that.
Right.
I was just with somebody in the UK that follows that same sort of
Everything.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
But then you've got someone like Dave Sinclair, who's also on Joe Rogan, who, he is just all about, he just wants to increase his longevity, but he doesn't care about working out or anything like that.
Right.
That isn't
Or
his
diet.
Yeah, or his diet, So I don't
That's
agree
the guy
with that.
he's the one that take metformin, right?
Yeah, so I don't agree with that. Whereas, like, you've got Ben Greenfield, like, he participates as a professional
hold on. Why
in
not?
Spartan.
Why not?
Pardon?
Why don't you agree? What's the difference?
Because he should be following the low-hanging fruit of eating healthy, making sure
But
that he gets
if-
out and have sunlight and meditates.
if he can achieve that longevity taking his route, is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, because I don't think it
I'm
puts
not
out-
agreeing or disagreeing.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
purely
it puts
asking.
out a good message, because you shouldn't bypass ancient wisdom of low-level activity. There's a lot of people, if you look at the blue zones, for instance, a lot of these people, like the Okinawas, they don't even have a word for retirement. They keep moving.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Hey, you gonna retire? It's not a thing. I love it. I love that shit. I agree with you. I agree with you, but I don't. If that's what he does, I don't really give a shit, because sometimes I look at like certain let's say YouTube, for instance, right? And, you know, my growth on YouTube has been very slow but steady from the gate, you know. And there's people that shoot up, right? And I'm like, they're using, you know, clickbait thumbnails, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then I'm kind of hating in my mind, but at the same time, like, but that's what YouTube's about, and they're winning, and they're making a lot of money, and they're being effective at what they're trying to do. So maybe I'm being weird, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not doing it my way, the hard way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's space for all of that shit, you know? Which brings me to a point, to a topic that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to ask you guys about. Me and good old Uncle T was talking about this earlier. Sean, he told me I should watch the Travis Scott documentary on Netflix, right? And I did. It's fucking dope. Thanks. It's a good one. And Uncle T said, yeah, he's on my radar, but, you know, he married Kylie. I don't know. It's just that family. And I'm like, what's wrong with the family? He said, you know, I felt the same way about Kanye when he married Kim. I'm like, what's wrong with Kim? So, T, correct me if I'm wrong, but the issue you had was, you know, she's very shallow, you know, do all of this work to her body. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Superficial, right? So, to me, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I like beautiful women, you know. You know, she got breast implants, which 90% of women do these days, which take it, I don't really care if they do or don't. You know, her butt, she don't have implants for it. I was asking you that for a reason. I know she don't. She got a big ass, but she has some fat transfers or some shit probably, which really I don't really care about any. If you want to get a butt implant, I don't care. You know, I don't judge you. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. So, you know, I feel like a lot of people have a negative perception of the Kardashian family, the Jenner/Kardashian family. What do you guys think? What is it with you?
You go ahead, Kris.
Okay, well, I can't really comment too much about the Kardashian family. I know who they are, but I don't watch TV and I don't read newspapers or anything like that. Like you said, I don't have time for biohacking or whatever it may be. I don't have time for that. It's never really interested me. But in regards to the augmentation, I think it's absolutely fine. Like I was in Colombia earlier this year, and it just freaked me out that all the women were just wearing this midriff tops, and they all had abs, kind of like smaller versions of CrossFit chicks, but these abs. But then I found out a lot of them have had what's called
Etching.
abs sculpting and etching, And I thought, well, I couldn't tell. It looks great. It looked phenomenal.
We were just talking about it.
Yeah. So if that is going to take that person to wear a midriff top and, you know, and flaunt it, that's going to help their confidence. They're going to feel better about themselves, you should hope. They're going to be a better person to be around, because there's a lot of people out there that just feel paranoid because they're flat-chested, they're not going to wear a bikini, or they got a flat butt, whatever it may be. Maybe they got fat. You know, they maybe they have liposuction. If it makes that person feel good, much like we may feel insecure if we're like 170 pounds, so we're going to work out.
I'm 170 pounds.
170 pounds. But you're good in your skin, right? You know,
Exactly.
You may feel odd if you were 220 or something. Who knows? You know, as long as it makes you feel good. Hey, I don't give anyone the right to judge me, so I don't have the right to judge them.
Right. And here's the thing. It's all like, you know, we have the means and the technology to do these things. I think it's cool. Like, you know, we lift weights. That's not normal. Like, this is a strange thing to our bodies. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a lot of effort in doing what we do to look the way that we look. You know what I'm saying?
But it makes you feel good. It isn't just a vanity aspect.
Yeah,
it feeds your confidence.
100%. But that comes from vanity, and I'm okay with that.
But there's the process as well. That's therapeutic.
You're right, but I don't think there's anything wrong with vanity.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? Because whether we want to admit it or not, we initially deal with people off of their appearance, man and woman, not even on a romantic level. You know, somebody looks the part, they look like they got their shit together. I don't got my phone. What is it? Come to the door. I don't give a fuck about that either. It looks weird.
What was that?
Sammy Sosa. He said, what about Sammy Sosa? He bleached his skin to his I don't even know what the fuck color that is. Opaque. I don't know what that shit is, but I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? To me, it doesn't make him a good or bad person. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it doesn't make me not like him. I like the fact that I can crack jokes on him now because he looks weird. You know what I'm saying? So it worked out. It worked out in that way.
I don't like when people draw lines in a way that seemingly benefits them and takes into consideration the things that make them happy, and then draws a line just a little bit north of that. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're anything more than me,
Right.
I don't understand you,
Right.
and therefore you're not as good or negative or whatever. It's all good. You know what I mean?
It's all good.
Don't draw a line about what is okay or not if you're at all involved in the area. So if you do anything to modify your appearance, even
or not even appearance though, even your mood.
Yeah.
Like let's say marijuana.
well, I just meant staying strictly on vanity, like
Okay.
not even exiting that. If you
Okay.
do anything, including trying to dress with clothes that fit you
Or groom
appropriately,
your hair.
yeah, anything that you do to look good and what you think looks good, so they think something different looks good. It's fine. If
Yeah,
they're
who's
not-
to say
Yeah.
this is the right way to look better and this is not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
We got a thumbs up on that one? All right, see, what I told you when we were sitting down talking, it bothered me when he said that because I'm like, you're smart. You can't think like that. And he got it. That's good.
See, the one thing that I do have a problem when it comes to the vanity is when people take that to the extreme, where they become so obsessed with themselves. Let's say that, because I've witnessed this, where you have a mother, and that mother is just so obsessed with her look, she has to take 62 selfies before she's able to publish one. And she's got the kid waiting in the back of the car who is not getting the attention that his mother is supposed to be giving her. That's when it goes to the extreme. And then it becomes a mental issue based on their vanity issue that they're consumed by. So once they become consumed by it for the recognition of others, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, you hit on something because there's a lot of things that see he's taking a trip. He's gone there.
Is that exactly what it looks like?
That's it. So let's go to Instagram. You know, it's a strange place. I love it because it is a means for me to broadcast my thoughts and ideas, to help push people in a direction that I think is beneficial to them, and also to make money, right? But there's a lot of people and this part bothers me because this comes into my world sometime, like if I'm dating somebody or something, and you know, just posting just to post for what looks like just for attention, you know? And it's like, I don't think these people are going into it thinking that, you know, but somehow they just get swept away in this fucking hurricane of likes and comments and adoration that they don't even realize what they're doing, but they're doing it. They want people to like them. They want people to recognize them, and they're getting validated by the amounts of likes and comments they're getting when it doesn't even translate to making money or being successful.
Or being respected.
So,
Like I had this conversation yesterday with Tito Raymond. Do you know Tito Raymond?
No.
You know Tito?
Is a bodybuilder?
Yeah, Tito, the brother of Jose. Jose's older brother. He's been a personal trainer at Gold's for many years. Okay. He competed in the Team Universe, won the Team Universe several times. And I have so much respect for Tito, because like I remember in the 90s doing a job that I hated, trying to put weight on my skinny frame and looking at the Muscle Mag and him on the cover of all these magazines in Venice, California, and going, I want to be that. And then later on, I got to know him. Such a great guy. And this guy was like all over the magazines. Muscle Tech's #1 athlete. Yet he doesn't have a decent social following, maybe like 5,000. And I'm like, you know, how does that come across? Because I've got so much respect for this guy, and a lot of people do personally, but from afar, maybe they don't, because are they going to listen to him? Because he's a fantastic personal trainer, really, really good trainer. I got him to train me. And like he went from bodybuilding, he was one place out from getting into the CrossFit Games. This guy's a hybrid athlete. He'll run a marathon, and he's always in shape.
Right.
He's from Boston, obviously, as his brother. But like, where is that boundary? Where is that line of respect and non-respect? Because we may see somebody that's got 1 million, 2 million followers. We got so much respect for him, but he doesn't have the knowledge or the experience as like someone as Tito. But posts online, he is very active, but only has 5,000 followers.
It's interesting. I have to check him out, but I think that just initially it used to be 1 million followers. Yeah, you're somebody, but now I think people are getting a little bit more savvy to look at the engagement. What kind of shit are they posting? And they're getting attention for, because that matters. Because you can get a lot of attention for posting bullshit or just memes or whatever. So. But a lot of it is fake nowadays, bots and whatever the fuck else weird shit is out there. So, but even for him, he may not be posting this shit to grow his social media. Like, frequency and the type of shit that the low-hanging fruit that people are easily attracted to, pictures with your shirt off all the time and, shit like that, motivational quotes and, you know what I'm saying? So maybe he's just not putting that kind of energy in it. Maybe he don't even know how to do that.
That's what it is. Not knowing how much. He just turned 50. It looks like he's in his 30s, but he doesn't know this stuff.
Right. That's the thing.
And that's an unfortunate thing. Like, he trained with Mike O'Hearn for many, many years, up until probably about 6 years ago. And then Mike started putting all of his efforts into social networking. Tito, not the same way. He didn't have a team around him.
Yeah.
But, in my opinion, he should have just as many. I like Mike.
But I like Mike too. Yeah. I feel like, but Mike is I feel like he's a lion. I look at myself as a lion. He's
up
a lion.
And after it,
and when I say lion, these are just a capable people. It's gonna, come into a new jungle, sniff it out, looking around like, okay, I can do this. I can make this work. You know what I'm saying? Mike is one of those people. So, Tito might not be that guy. You know what I'm saying? He might be, I don't know, a leopard. I'm gonna just chill in my tree until I see something. I'm gonna go grab it and bring it back up here and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't have to own and dominate this whole shit.
Or I'd say his effort is put elsewhere, like into his one-on-one client. Because I said, what about online training? You interested in that? No, not unless they're gonna fly out and see me a lot.
And that used to be me too. Like, I never did my years as a trainer. I had no interest. I had so many people wanting me to train them from afar. I got to be with you. I got to touch you. I got to see you. I got to know that what I'm prescribing for you is working. Because my shit changes as we're going along. My mind is going when I'm with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I could write it out and send it out. I don't know if you're doing it right. I want it to work for you. You know what I mean? So it's got to be somebody that's already there and know if this ain't working, they can tell me. You know what I mean? Something like that. But yeah, he may be. I feel him on that because that's kind of how I am.
Yeah. Like he's like, when I had this discussion, he don't care as much at all. He knows he has respect.
Right.
But I just wonder from afar. How does that translate from a lot of people that are seeing that? Because just by default, we look at this person, we instantly look, how many followers does he have? What's his engagement? It's like, okay, I may contact this guy. I may engage with this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if someone, for instance, was going to contact you, Mike, and says, hey, let's collab, let's do a workout, and that person's got like 5,000 followers, or they contact me or you or whatever. Like, are you going to give that person the time of day? Or if they've got like 500,000 followers, are you? It's just how we are. It's just how we think. We default.
Right. For the record, what I would do, I'm only doing collabs with people I like and I respect. And outside of that, it's people that I like, that I want to help out.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very random that it's very rare, or maybe never, that a random person is going to reach out to me to do a collab, and I'm going to do it. I don't care if they got 1 million, I'm just not interested.
I get it quite a lot. A lot of people say, "Hey, can we do this? Can we work out?" But the thing is, I'm quite an introvert. There's my social circle is tiny. It's very, very small. So I'm only going to do something like that with people that I actually know and feel comfortable with a lot of the time.
Yeah, man. And a lot of times you do cool stuff with cool people. Is no cameras around. Little history. Me and Kris a couple years ago, when I was like toiling around with the notion of possibly getting back into the ring. Were we in Boise when we went that run?
No. We were in Texas.
We was in Texas.
Yeah.
So we met up. Kris was doing an Ironman or something like that. And he was like, just come on a run with me. And I hadn't even started running yet. Yeah, I had no cardio yet. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. And it was fun. We did like 8 miles, and that was my first time running in years, like jogging. And I was having a ball. I was doing sprints while I was jogging and shit, because that's what I normally do to keep it exciting. And to me, that's bonding. That's dope. That's reserved for people that you really care about. And with me, doing something like that with you, it made our bond even tighter, Me and Sean, we train damn near every day and hit the sauna and all of that shit, suffer in the sauna. That's bonding to me.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I've said this so many times that bonding, partnerships and relationships a lot of the time are tighter through suffering. They become tighter when you suffer.
100%.
That's why you look at something like an Ironman or Spartan, why they're increasing, and then you get groups of people doing it, and they start up these smaller groups, whether it be for a 5K, a half marathon. That bondage through suffering.
What kind of bondage?
Yeah, and what type of suffering is just solidified, is compounded that much more. When it's like with my fiance who's out there, she did 2 half Ironmans with me, and I feel that we become closer through that suffering. And it's good to suffer because you experience that success of being together and having that communication. And maybe it's a part vibration, maybe it's not.
No, it's true, man. Like with boxing, with fighting, guys will fight. They hate each other, talk so much shit, the build up, because you have to. You got so many nerves going. After the fight, they're best friends, and me, just like, one of my sparring partners, he beat my ass our first time. You know what I'm saying? The big guy, shout out to Malik Scott. But, we got tight because we suffered together, and we don't see each other hardly ever now, right now, because he's in everybody's training camp all over the world. But we stay in touch, you know what I mean? We got a lot of respect for each other. You get respect. Trevor McCumbee, he's another phenomenal boxer, undefeated, up-and-coming guy. He reached out like, hey, man, if you're looking for some work, I got you, come through. I'm like, all right, cool. And that's like kind of calling somebody out. Like, that's saying like, yo, come, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's just we have our own language. So I go, show up, and we fought, and he didn't expect me to have what I had, and I respected him and he respected me, and and it made me feel good because he posted the first picture of me and him afterwards, and it just said respect. Yeah, I'm like, that's what's up. Yeah. That's what it's about. And me and him, that's my baby. We sparred a bunch of times since then. That's my bro. He's cried on the phone with me, like, he's expressed a lot of deep things in his life to me. You know what I mean? And I would do the same with him. And we had no other dealings other than suffering together. You know what I mean? So you're right. Suffering brings forth growth anyway. Yeah. And when you can do it with somebody else, it's a meaningful experience, and it's special. You respect that person because that person don't crack. They're reliable. Because I believe that the physical suffering, physical, mental, I don't have a separation. It's all the same. You practice suffering right here, you get suffering wherever. And when I say not good at suffering, dealing with the suffering and growing from it versus dying from it and breaking.
Yeah, it has a transcendence effect, and whatever that suffering becomes, you become more disciplined to deal with suffering and doing stuff that you don't want to do in other aspects. Now, I've got a gym franchise in India. And what we've noticed is that there's been a huge growth rate, and it's happening in other countries as well, with group classes, because people are bonding more through this suffering. And like you do transformation contests, we do them, and there's a lot more success in them because you create a group and a community, because everyone's going through the same stuff. Because when you're not, you're always thinking, whoa, me, it's tougher, it's harder on me, I'm the only one that's going through it. And it's easier for you to throw your hands up in the air and go, forget it. Right. But when you're all going through it, and you're not just doing it there and then, you got to stay in touch. Like you said, you've created this bond that you necessarily maybe can't with your sister or your brother or whatever, because they haven't gone through that with you. That's something special that you can share with that person, just like with any relationship.
100%. When in my training days, I was very busy training people all day long, and I was getting burnt out, and my kids would come see me on the holidays, and I would just have a nanny there while I'm working all day, see them at night, and I'm tired. So this one particular year, I said, I'm not doing that no more. I told my clients, I said, I didn't know how this was going to work yet. I said, I'll be available from 5 a.m. to, I think, 10 or 11. That's it. So y'all all come in within those hours, and we'll work it out. If not, it is what it is. They all came in. They all made it work. And it turned into, it wasn't group training. I call it semi-private training. So maybe 5 people this hour, 6 this hour. Sometimes people are staggering between half hours and this, that, and the third. But it was more fun for me. You know, my mind was all over the place, but in the right places. And it was more fun for them because they had that camaraderie, that sense of competitiveness, but also that bond and pushing each other. They loved it. They loved it. So it worked out so much better. All right. So, Kris, thank you for coming down, man. It was a pleasure having you. We could go on for another 3 hours if you didn't have to. You know, I guess you got more important things than us.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No
always the
denying
truth.
it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I popped in here today. Honestly, thank you very much, man. Like, we were supposed to go train, but this was much more informative.
100%.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. This is a good little chin wag.
Chinwag.
You know what I'll say is that Kris has, you know, we always talk about how you can have your own thing and be fans of what someone else is doing. And when people ask us, you know, because it's a common question, like, what other products would you guys use aside from Ambrosia? It is literally, he was not bullshitting you. Cage Muscle is a brand that he consistently will bring up. Like, hey, we will use whatever can benefit us from anyone that we trust and that we believe in what their message is and what goes into their products. And even having not used a product before, when Mike had told me about the HydroCharge product, knowing that Cage Muscle is a brand that also conducts finished product testing the same way we do on each of our batches to make sure that we're meeting label claim and or we're free of banned substances, heavy metals, things like that. We're in a select company of brands that do that, and I support any brand that takes that step for quality control. So you are a brand, Cage Muscle is a brand that we often recommend to people.
That's awesome, man. Thank you very much. Yeah,
And just to chime in on what he said,
Yeah.
the most recent place I talked about this, we were at an event, a distributor's event, who don't carry your products. And one of the questions, I'm sure is one of their people asked the question, like, what brands do you take outside of yours? Cage Muscle. I said, you guys don't carry it, but it's Cage Muscle. I respect Kris Gethin, and his shit works. You
That's
know what I'm
awesome,
saying?
man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And like, you're right. We are a very select few. Like the supplement industry, a billion-dollar industry that is just growing and growing. However, there's so many products in there that do not merge the health sector with the sports performance sector. There's a huge disconnect. And a lot of the time, people are looking for performance at the sake of their health. Or like you said, it's not an efficacious dose or it's a proprietary blend or whatever, you know, the heavy metals. And, you know, the more that we can bring that together, because you care about your health, you care about your health and your longevity, you're not going to improve that or your followers or your customers by putting shit into their system.
Right.
You know, half the stuff that you have in a supplement on a supermarket shelves, you're not going to rub that on your chicken breast or put that in your vegetables, but people put in their systems all day. So hats off, and I cannot wait to check out this plant-based protein that you got here. Was it banana? What is it?
Banana maple French toast. Take
Banana
that in.
maple,
Banana maple French toast.
Okay, Sybil's
pride
going
and
to
joy.
have to hide that from me. I'm gonna take the lot.
Listen, it's funny because just you know, Sean and I were doing different things before this, but we both was already on the same page of just doing plant-based protein, you know, and we combined forces, and you know, it's crazy. There's a lot of people, I hate saying it, but it's a lot of people, all of a sudden they come out with a vegan protein just to do it. It's like guys that I know that you don't give a fuck about a vegan protein.
They taste bad.
Because they're just doing it because it's the thing to do. But here's the thing, for the consumers out there and the people listening, it's not a money play for us. Protein is expensive with very low margins. We don't make a lot of money on it. We believe in it for real. The proof is this. Your favorite companies out there, 1 or 2 flavors maybe, we have 11. This is what we do. And go back into our history, we had never been a whey protein type of guys, like Sean and I. Like, so this is not something that all of a sudden, oh, this vegan wave. When I went vegan, people were like, oh, you just trying to make money. I'm like, bro, it's not many vegans. No, I'm not. It's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So our intentions are pure. They're coming from a good place, and we're putting out the best thing that we could put out. All the arguments against plant-based protein, we nullify that with Planta. We covered all bases, even taste. Over-covered it with taste. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, I'm not saying don't eat meat, but you can reduce your animal intake, at least with your protein. You don't have to anymore, you know? So, it's a lot of arguments. Well, we evolved by eating meat. I know. But here we are now. We have different things and technologies and, different ways of
Isn't it funny how people always compare to years ago? As for instance, there'll be a picture, I'll post a picture or something, maybe I'm in shape, and people will say, hey, but, you must be taking this and that and all that because you're heavier than Frank Zane, who was competing in the 60s and 70s. I'm like, yeah, are you going to compare a runner?
He was like 5'1", 5'2".
No, he's a little taller than that, but he was
5'3".
He was a small frame.
He's a small guy.
Yeah. But the thing is, like,
he couldn't be more than 5'3".
Do you compare car races to back then, or
Right.
or sprinters?
Right.
Well, no, because we evolve, we change.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that about nutrition or whatever it may be. That you cannot keep. Of course, there's ancestral wisdom that we should keep intact. But everyone's different.
Right.
You've got a different personality. Maybe a coach could shout at you and you could be encouraged, or someone else is going to require a sympathetic word. Everyone's different.
Right. But nah, man, we respect you, man, for real. You my boy. I love you. I'm glad you came down. We need to do more things together.
Yeah.
We got to bring our brains together more often.
Do you know what I was thinking?
I
the
really
same
wanted
thing.
you
Let's
and
do
Sean to meet each other.
Yeah, it was
I'm
great
glad
to
that y'all met. But what were you going to say?
No. Do you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing just during this interview. I was thinking, we got to do something together. What
Right.
it is, I don't know. It's
Some
going to
cool
come
shit.
up. But we're going to have to start chatting
Some
to
cool
figure
shit.
that out. Yeah.
I think we kind of planted a seed last time we talked.
Yeah.
So we some cool shit.
Let's keep growing.
Yeah, it just happened too. Maybe take people to a voyage, a journey into the.
Man, you're wearing the right clothes for it. You could be the captain.
Exactly. Nah, I had to cover up a little more. I would implode in just this, and I would freeze, and my eyes would freeze and bulge out my head. But
Yeah, you need to get more than your 6 hours
nah,
sleep. I think.
but all right, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate
Cool.
it. Peace.
Peace.
See you guys.